Good morning. Well, it's been a while since the video. I made my last video, which I was talking about how I got sick, and it wasn't a great start for the new year. Well, the day I released that video, let's see what happened. I noticed that evening that overnight the power in the whole house blew, and I was like, what's going on? So I reset it, and the next day, around lunchtime, blew again, and I was like, what's going on? The electrics need to be redone, which is what I'm working on. I'm working on the plans for it, you know, that kind of thing. Still not done yet, but I'm working on it. So anyways, couldn't figure it out, and then I went to have a shower that evening or whatever, after whatever, and basically I realized there was no hot water. I'm like, what? So I went and take a look, and the bottom of the water heater had rusted out, and all the water had been dripping into where all the electronics are, and it all filled up with water, so it was shorting and blowing out. So I was like, uh-oh. So we have a plan to get a fancy like thermodynamic water heater that takes all the air from, above your kitchen, where the vent is, to extractor fan, that kind of thing, from all the bathrooms, all the steam gets sucked out, that type of thing, and it takes a lot of hot air and it converts it into hot water. So that's the big plan. Sam was in the hospital. She just got out, a couple days ago now, which is great. They kept her in for another week. But that's another story. And anyways, the bottom line is I was like, what are we going to do? I don't want to go and buy, just bad timing. I didn't want to go and buy another water heater. So what I did is there was one in the kitchen, which is really small little, it's like a foot by foot by foot water heater. I thought, okay, let's see what I can do. So I took that one, and we hadn't been using it because it was extremely inefficient. It takes like 3,000 watts for this little thing. So it was driving our bills up. So we've just been kind of washing our hands in the marble sink in the kitchen with just cold water, because it's fine, right? You can fill your pots and do stuff with it. And then all our dishes we do in the dishwasher anyway. So, and in Europe, all the washing machines and dishwashers, they're all got their own heating elements in them. So you don't have hot water tanks that feed them. You only ever put cold in them. But anyway, so what I did is I hooked that up. It was too heavy. I couldn't lift down the other one by myself. And there just wasn't anyone to help me at that time. So basically I put that together, slammed it together, and it's sort of working, but you get like 5 minutes of a shower. So it's pretty grim. Yeah, it's all right. We're surviving right now. And then I did that. And then I started going back upstairs where I have my computer to get my little, my 3D thing of all the wires, and where we're going to put the air conditioning units and how we're going to run the pipes and all that sort of stuff, so I can keep things kind of sorted and organized in my mind. Anyway, so then that was fine. And then the Saturday, I went to the pub on Friday thinking, Sam wasn't back yet. So I thought, let's go visit some friends and stuff. So Saturday morning, I was totally fine. Feeling a little rough. I thought, maybe, I had one too many beers. I didn't, but I thought maybe that's what it was. And then had dinner, had some nachos or something that I made. Being alone, that's pretty much what I'm cooking. And then I think it was around 10:30 at night. Complete nausea, complete poops. I did nothing but poop and throw up for 16 hours straight. Couldn't sleep, couldn't do anything. My whole ribs, my stomach, everything is so sore for, I don't know, it's still sore, and it's been over a week since I've stopped being sick. So I couldn't have any water for the first 24 hours, not even like a sip of a capful. Immediately would be a horrific kind of mess that would happen. And then it took me 4 days before I had one cracker. And then about 4 hours later, I had 2 more crackers. And then what did I have? And then about another 2 hours later, I had a little slice of, that plastic American cheese that stuffed, because that was the blandest thing you could get. You put it on a burger. And then that kind of was okay, and I stayed in. Otherwise, I was about 4 days where I didn't eat anything. I've never been that violently ill. Let's say I've had COVID and stuff like that, but that was just all lungs. No problem with lungs, no coughing, no colds, anything like that. But it was just, So we think I had norovirus. It's the best I can think of. I don't know whether when I went to visit Sam at the hospital, touched a knob and someone had it. It's not really a hospital. It's like a rehab center. But anyways, so that's what's been going on. That's why I haven't had a video out. Been really badly sick, and it took me another 2 or 3 days just to kind of be able to eat properly. Well, good news is I lost, I think, about 3 kilos, which is about 7 pounds, something like that, which is pretty good. I wouldn't recommend trying that way to lose it. As for Sam, she's out, as I mentioned before. They kept her in about another week, so it was a total of about an entire month in rehab, which is, she's done really well. She can kind of move around. She's still got a bit of a gentle walking with her new knee and a bit of a limp, but she's doing really well. She doesn't have to have crutches. She uses a crutch when she goes outside the house. That's recommended, just stability, because all the patios or pavers and stuff around here in the old village and stuff like that, and walking around can be a bit tipsy, so you got to be careful. But otherwise, I think she's going to do really well. She's got another 3 weeks of rehab. So she does 2 hours a day during the week, and then she has the weekends off. So basically what they do here in France is they'll pick you up in like a taxi, like a special medical taxi, and then they drive for about half an hour or 20 minutes to half an hour to the center she was in. She does the 2 hours of rehab stuff, which is quite intensive. And then she comes back and she repeats it again the next day. So she does that 5 times a week. And they're thinking she'll be pretty good to go. She'll probably be able to drive sometime next week, which will be good. I've generated a lot of waste from the garden. I cut, and just yesterday, or on the weekend actually, I cut down some branches for the trees, the loquat tree. I thinned it all up because it gets very dense and a lot of bugs grow in it. And it's also kind of blocking the sunlight out of the grass, and it's just getting a bit too big. So time to knock that down. I cut a couple branches off the eastern redbush tree. What else have I done? Just kind of like getting things ready for the summer or for spring. I've also pulled out a lot of grass. So there's little blobs of grass. It's very easy to see with the grass when it's Bermuda grass, because if it's not brown, it shouldn't be there at this point of year. So you just kind of yank it out and it comes out quite easily, because it's all like birds, droppings and stuff like that that put seeds in, or it blows in or whatever like that. And it's just all kind of perennial cool season grasses that grow in the winter here. But anyway, so I've been doing that. I've not been doing nothing. And I've also just started working again on finishing up that electric plan. Sam is working on getting quotes for the roofers. They're trying to get them to come around, and so we can get like 3 quotes again for that. And then we're also looking at quotes for the solar panels. We have a friend that we know in the village who has an actual solar power company. We're going to go to him first. And as long as we've had some in the past, if he's good, we're just going to go with him. And then what else we're doing? We're going to get that water heater sorted out. It'd be very easy for me to install it, but a lot of these things, same as with the AC system and stuff like that, if you want to keep your warranties, you have to have a professional install it. So I'm just going to kind of oversee it. I'll explain how it's all done. And then I'll probably run all the pipes for whoever's installing the water heater, with the vents in the ceiling or in the walls like that, that suck in the hot air from the bathrooms and suck in the hot air from the kitchen and stuff like that, and vent it out and things like that. And then I'll just have the guy do the final hookup, and then he can give me the bill, and then that makes the warranty good. And then he's kind of put his check mark on it. So anyways, that's the plan. Sorry that I had done more. It's been a long time getting back, but I've never been that violently ill. So the last thing in my mind was worrying about YouTube. I was like, ugh. I was close to in the hospital, but there was a bit of a mix-up with our visa. So basically, because Sam is a cross-border worker back and forth from England to France, she sponsors me. So we actually have to get a piece of paper from, so did I say France? So she goes to England and back to France. That's what I meant to say. And then, so she gets a piece of paper to say that yes, she works there and pays her taxes there. And then that kind of visa thing gives us a healthcare thing where basically England pays for our healthcare here. So there was something, I don't know, they changed the system this year, and so it kind of got messed up. And so Sam luckily got all her healthcare sorted before she went to the hospital. But before I could apply for mine, she had to have her sorted. So when she got to the hospital, and basically she was in too much pain and stuff like that, so it just kind of fell down the cracks over there for her. And basically I had no health coverage. Well, technically you do. I could have gone into the hospital. They would have totally taken care of me. I would have just gotten a bill at the end of it. But anyways, sorry for not, getting a video out very reasonably quickly. It's been a bit of a rough run for me. Definitely a bad start of the year, but I'm very positive that it's going to end now, and we're going to get this house going. And I think we're going to see some big changes this year. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well. I know a lot of my friends in Toronto right now are like under yay much snow, so I hope everyone who's on the East Coast is doing all right. And I hope you all have a good weekend. Anyways, cheers.